All right, let's cover some Terra news. It is the middle of November, and what we've just seen is a Bitcoin crash over the past couple of days. I mean, we peaked at 69,000, and that was about a week ago. And just a few hours ago, we got a really bad candle that got us back into the high 50,000s. So right now, Bitcoin's chilling at 60,000. Maybe that's a 10% retrace, but of course, altcoins always suffered the hardest. Luna was no exception. So Luna, who had been kind of generally just trending up over time, it did have a candle that kind of knocked it below one of its main trend lines for a bit. And now the market's kind of trying to recover, but it's only been like the first little dip. So, there may be pain, there may not be pain. What the levels that I'm looking out for is this macro trend line that kind of started back in July, tapped back in September, and it's far down. So it's in the low 50,000s. I don't know if it gets there or not. I'd love to see it just kind of hang around 60,000, maybe wick below a couple times, but I am basically not trading this zone at all. I'll just wait till it makes a decision. If it comes down here, I'll probably start buying like a madman. If it breaks out here, maybe I'll look for some decent plays. If it's inside this zone, I don't feel like getting chopped up to death. So we'll see what happens there. That's Luna. And I mean, our altcoins are not doing, they weren't doing well to begin with, even during this whole bull cycle that Bitcoin was up and Luna was up. Our altcoins have been getting absolutely clobbered. You look at the Valkyrie chart, which is at 68 cents now. Valkyrie is like the kind of token that you think bottoms, but it never actually bottoms. So you can see it's just been going lower and lower. That's just a mixture of not much use case, high inflation, lots of airdrops. And they recently launched some campaigns. I'm not really going to get into the Valkyrie stuff, but until Bitcoin kind of figures its stuff out, we're going to be in trouble for altcoins. Orion Money, that token launched on Terra just last week. It was a token that's been trading on Ethereum for a while. Orion is kind of like a secret agent that goes into Ethereum and it tries to absorb as many stable coins as it can. And on the back end, it's converting them to UST and depositing them in Anchor. Anchor Protocol, I made a bullish tweet about them around the price of $3.50. Well, with the market crash, it's no longer doing that well. I had made a decent sized position. I think I sold like 80% of it for like a couple percentage points loss. You saw what was coming with the Bitcoin retracement. You don't want to be on any part of that downside. So over the past month or so, what my focus has been on, it's not accumulating. We've been accumulating for months now. I've actually been trying to build up more cash positions. So that's been mainly what I'm doing, is selling the dozens of altcoins that I have, pieces of them, not all of them. I'm still about 65% in the market at the moment. So I want to just cover some important facts about news, what's been going on lately. One of them is the increase in market cap of our UST stablecoin. If you go to CoinMarketCap and you flip to the market cap, you see that we went from relatively stable to stair-step parabolic. And our trusty founder, Do Kwon, has been very, very excited about this. He tweets about every $500 million that the market cap is going up. So he's loving that. We're loving that. Price is not loving that. If you've seen the UST mechanism, the way it works is if there's a reason for the demand of UST to go up, that means you need more UST. But the only way to get more UST is to buy Luna off the market. And to burn it, to destroy it, to bring it to the Terra blockchain, and you put in that Luna, you never get it back again. But what you do get back is UST, and then depending on the demand, that UST goes wherever. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's not the way this burn is working now. This burn is actually it's taken Luna that was already burned, and it's burning it again because of this seigniorage loophole thingy and the community proposal that went through. So the idea is that over the next few days, this is going to continue. We're going to keep burning. We're going to keep burning this Luna, this double burn. Right now it's at 5.5. It'll get to 6. It'll get to 7. I forget what the number is or where it stops. But when it does stop, then this will level off. And then we can go back to like trying to grow UST in a way that actually drives demand for Luna, creates an actual supply squeeze, potentially drives up the price of Luna. But, you know, some people have asked, they're like, I thought this, when UST market cap goes up, Luna's got to go up. Why isn't it happening? What's going on? That's the reason. So is this not valuable? Well, the reason why this burn is happening in the first place is because this burn was voted by the community to happen, and for a large portion of this newly minted UST to go into Ozone, which is our native insurance protocol. And what that's going to allow is when you have UST, you can now have insured UST. So something gets insured when a piece of the kind of interest you earn from having that UST, from lending out that UST, it's insured. So part of that interest goes back to the insurance protocol. Because of that, if anything happens to that money, if there's a hack, if there's anything, then you're insured. You get to get your money back from this other pool, which is really cool. So that's going to potentially attract some big money that's a little safer, that needs a little bit more safeguards. So that's going to be great. Another reason why this is very, very powerful is because when you are burning all of this Luna for UST, you are doing so via the validator network. And whenever you do that, you're accumulating fees. And when you're burning so many billions worth of Luna, you're accumulating a lot of fees. And those fees go back to Luna stakers. So Luna, over the course of the entire year, like their staking returns have been kind of weak, I'm not going to lie. But now you can go to this page, tpa.smartstake.io. You can refresh this every few hours and you see this Luna staking APR continuing to rise. This number keeps going up. It's now at 8.38%. I made a tweet a couple days ago, and I was showing you Luna staking APYs compared to other layer ones. That was when it was 7.3. What did we say it was now? It's 8.3. So it's already gone up a percentage point. Compare that to Algo, ADA, ETH, Solana, AVAX, Phantom, Harmony, Atom, Dot. Our number just keeps going up. And the best part of this is a lot of these layer ones, if not most of them, the way they give you their fees is through inflation. They're just printing them. The way we do it is through fees. So that's actually not inflation. That's coming from actual use case, which is fantastic. So staking APR goes up. People people buy these layer ones, sometimes speculatively, sometimes to trade, but sometimes to stake and earn passive income. Now that we have one of the highest staking APRs in the game, that's going to be more interesting. So that's another reason why this double burn, community burn is beneficial. That's really exciting. That's cool stuff. We're not even talking about the airdrops there. And that's something to look out for. What else is going on in Terra land? Well, here is Ryan Park, who heads up Anchor. And Anchor, probably the most used app in Terra, has had some issues where, the token accumulation, the value accrual of the token, it's just not that great. So they finally came out with a plan to hopefully improve it. And they broke it down into like a short-term and a longer-term plan. And I'm not going to jump through like all the minutia of what their plan was, but you can see in this on the forum of Anchor. I'll link it in the comments if you really want to check it out. But what was really interesting is that they gave a tentative date of January and February. And this is where it got really saucy because they got a comment from our founder, Do Kwon, who said, January, February for something this simple, I'm going to fire the entire Anchor team if you don't give me something in half the time. It's like a weekend job, just fucking do it. Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of the lunatic community saw this and kind of zoomed right in to this comment. And I think there's people who are very frustrated with the momentum of Anchor. I mean, Anchor does what it does, and it does it really well. The beauty of Anchor is that it's simple. So the more layers of complexity you add onto it, the more complicated it gets, the harder it is to integrate with. And the whole play that half the apps on Terra are building on top of Anchor in some way. So you don't want to, it's probably difficult to work on Anchor. But when they do come up with a plan, and they have this timeline that says January and February, to someone like Doe, who's, I mean, you kind of get that he's a power shipper. Well, he made a post just recently, maybe like a day before, but let me find that post. And he was talking about one of the most important things in crypto is speed of delivery. So if you're slow in crypto, not going to make it. Crypto is perfect competition codified. You're the sprinter, you die. Come work for me. I'll give you a piggyback ride. So I think this is the culture he's trying to build, is a culture that works fast, works hard, is obsessive, and they have a mission. They're looking to solve it. So when he sees something that he thinks is relatively simple, and then he sees a timeline of like January, February, you can tell he's didn't make him the happiest. So that's a thread to check out. It's very, very interesting stuff. Lots of drama there. And there really hasn't been a resolution so far. Like, I don't think we've heard a response from Anchor, but we'll see where that goes. And hopefully we get something faster out because of it. What else is really cool is SJ, who's one of the TFL guys, he's been teasing November 15th as some big announcement. November 15th was yesterday, and then Kado came out with an announcement, and that was the big announcement. So let's look at Kado's announcement. They said Kado's it's not like a dApp, it's not like a coin that you can buy, but it's an app that received TFL funding, and they're working on one problem, which is off-ramps, UST to USD, on-ramps, off-ramps. And they're saying that USD is finally listed on Prime Trust. That's the main on-ramp, off-ramp people in the US, maybe worldwide. And they're very, very excited. So November 15th is like the big day where it's all happening. And they're working on putting together a front end, like something usable, findable, something usable by the end of Q4. And Kado's been working on this. I think Alice, which is like a P2P, peer-to-peer payments app launching in the US, they're waiting for this. So now that this is happening, you can shop online with UST. You can send in your dollars and get out UST. You can take in your UST and get out dollars. This is going to be huge, 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 huge. And it's happening. It's happening. I think, there's been a lack of momentum with the Terra alts. I think it's safe to say that we are a new ecosystem. And one thing I've learned is, as I've been exploring other blockchains, other investment opportunities, and digging into Harmony and digging into AVAX and Phantom and all these other places, I see the speed at which they're able to launch like various forks. Like, I've come across 50 Olympus DAO forks, and people just fork it and they see it's working. Like, they know what's working with Olympus, so they can just fork it. They can put on their own names, they can add the little twist, and they're ready to launch within a month. What Terra is doing, they're building an entire new thing. It's a new coding language. It's different. They are the ones that have traction, even though they're a Cosmos chain. Like Terra is number one by far in this Cosmos universe. So they're doing everything. They inspired these builders to come and start building. But a lot of the builders, they didn't have, something to take inspiration from. They didn't have like an Olympus DAO that they could fork. So they looked at Mirror and they looked at Anchor. And Mirror set the precedent by giving airdrops to Luna stakers. So now Anchor was obliged to give airdrops to stakers, and then it became like this thing where the community is just like, well, if you're community focused and community friendly, you're going to give out free airdrops because that's what you need to do. So then every single app that launched next, Pylon, Terra, Orion, Nexus, Valkyrie, Loop, they all gave out airdrops. And some of them gave out small airdrops that didn't cause much sell pressure. Others gave out uncapped airdrops to whales who sold their airdrops for hundreds of thousands of dollars and destroyed the charts. And what else do Mirror and Anchor have? They have high inflation, right? Mirror's got incentivized LPs. It just prints Mirror. Whales farm that Mirror. They dump it. Anchor, it's got incentivized borrow. It's got incentivized LP. Farm it, you dump it. And that was the book that a lot of these other apps looked at when they were coming up with their tokenomics. And on the other side of the chain, ETH, where DeFi was born last year, they were doing that too, but they had a year head start. So they already knew like all the things that were wrong with that. And suddenly Olympus DAO comes out and they say, nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to rent out our liquidity and pay you to dump on us. We're going to own our own liquidity, and we're going to do it in a way where it benefits only those people that stake. And just that now is starting to come over to Terra. Now we have Nexus protocol who is making moves. I mean, their chart is looking pretty nuclear at the moment, just like everyone's chart. But these are teams that are pivoting. These are teams that are working on seeing the models that are working. They're taking inspiration and they're taking the time to pivot and build. So I am super bullish on Nexus because they're coming out with some protocol owned liquidity pivots as well in the next December. If not December, then by January. So look out for that. White Whale is doing the same thing. White Whale is something that's due out in December. It is a arbing for the people. Arb like the whales arb. That's the whole mechanism. And I remember they were talking a few months ago. They were trying to figure out like their token accrual, how to get value to their token. And they were stuck in this, this is what we do. We do the free airdrops and the incentivized thing. And then over the last couple months, the Olympus DAO models, they started showing some success. And I mean, that's not bulletproof either. That's still very experimental. We're not saying it's an elixir to every problem. But I think White Whale and the Olympus DAO model are going to work extremely well. Super, super bullish about that one. And I know Apollo is working on some similar stuff as well. So we're coming into like a DeFi 2.0 standard on Terra. It'll be interesting to see if we can kind of get traction on this new 2.0 before this bull run ends. With Bitcoin kind of doing Bitcoin things, going up, going down. It's possible, we get a quick retrace here. Plan B wants to see, 98,000 by end of the month. Well, we got 2 weeks to make that happen. So if that happens, and then we get 135,000 by December, like he says, then, that looks like a blow off top to me. And that looks like we're going into a bear market. And in that bear market, I think Terra teams are going to have a lot of time to build and get things right. Or if we had an extended cycle, Terra starts launching some of these things next month, then maybe we start seeing some proper price action finally from our alts. In the meantime, there's always Terra. There's always the Apex asset. There's always the King. I never have a problem investing in the Apex asset. Every dip is for buying. And yeah, what else is on the horizon? I mean, this month we got two apps launching. We have Stader, which is like the auto compounding staking. And it also does liquid staking. So it's coming out with that. It's doing a community farm, I think sometime next week, where you deposit your Luna and it's going to farm Stader tokens for you. I think at I forget the price, but it's cheap. It's near like the pre-sale, private sale price. And the only thing is you got to lock up your Luna for a certain time, up to like 8 months to get the full benefit. So look out for that. Look out for Apollo. They've been doing their community farm for months now, and they're getting ready to launch this month. So yeah, that's the update. Thanks a lot, guys.